Okay, in 8th graders, in lesson 5.3, we're going to talk about how to write a function rule. Okay, and writing function rules, it sounds complicated, but honestly, you've been talking about and looking at function rules ever since 2nd grade. Okay, function rules, remember in 2nd grade, were just like n plus 2, follow the rule, right? Where n was 1, 0, and 4. Okay? And then you'd see, oh, 1 plus 2 is 3. 0 plus 2 is 2. 4 plus 2 is 6. So it can be very simple like this, okay? Don't psych yourselves out when we're talking about this.
Why did you just make a math equation?
Now, the only thing that we're going to do is instead of them giving us the rule, we're going to have to come up with the rule. Okay? We're going to have to look at the pattern. 1 and 3, how are those related? 0 and 2,
Addition.
4 and 6. In other words, how do you get from x to y, or from the domain to the range, or from the number on the left to the number on the right?
X plus
Okay.
0.
And you're going to have to think of, well, okay, add, multiply, or both.
So I have a question.
Okay, add or multiply or both. So let's look at this pattern. I'll take your questions in a little bit. Let's stay on track here and look at this pattern. So one of the things I have to do is look at 1. What's the difference between 1 and 3? How could you get from 1 to 3? You could either do what?
1 plus 2 or 1 times 3.
Okay, we could do 1, we could do x plus 2, so 1 plus 2, or we could do what?
1 times 3.
1 times 3, so x times 3, right? That's how you could get from this number to this number. Okay? Now, when you go to the next line, from 2 to 6, if you follow this rule, it doesn't work, does it? Because 2 plus 2 is only 4, so it cannot be this one. So you can eliminate that. It's not x plus 2. But you can get 2 times 3, you can get 6. You can use the x times 3 rule to get there, right? So that works for the second one. Does it work for the third one? 3 times 3. Does that work?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's our function rule. Now, when you're writing a function rule, you write it using this pattern right here. Okay, you write it as f of x, or the function of x. And so to write your answer for this, you would write the function of x, and it's that little curly Q f at the bottom. It's got a little curl at the bottom, so that's the function rule. F of x equals what? What's the rule then, Bailey?
The rule would be, yeah, it would be x times 3.
X times 3, yep. 3x or x times 3. You can write it either way. Okay? Does that make sense? Now, one of the numbers to check, if the one of the ones that helps you a lot is 0, right? If you see a 0 as one of the domains, that can really help you, because if the other side is 0, then you know you cannot be adding something. Okay? Because 0 plus, the only thing you can add to 0 to get 0 is 0, right? So as long as you're adding a number, any number, and you get another number on the other side, you know you're going to have to add. That'll be part of the rule. Okay? Sometimes you might have to multiply and add. Okay? Let's look at some more. Oh, I'll come back to it. All right? Sometimes you'll have to follow a function rule to graph a line. So you'll be given a function rule, and you'll have to make a t-chart. That's a t-chart is the x and y chart. Okay? And then you'll have to choose at least 3 values for x. I think it's important to choose 3, because that way you know that your numbers are lining up. Okay? So you choose at least 3 values for x, or you choose the numbers for your domain, and substitute those values in for x into the function rule to find the range, or the output. And then plot those points on graph paper and draw a line with arrows to show where the line is going. Okay? So that will be part of following a function rule. Okay? That's also part of this lesson. Let's see. I think that's all you need for now. Let's look at the lesson. Okay?
Could you stay there so we can copy this?
Okay. So, turn to page 272. Page 272.
Wait, could we copy the notes first?
We'll have to come back to those. I want to go through some examples for you, and then I'll put the notes back up later. Page 272. Number 1. You're given this. What is this called? What can we call this? The equation. It's also a function rule. Yep. This is a function rule. Now on page 272, they give you 3 different x and y charts. Which one of those follows this rule? Is it A, B, or C?
Oh, which one?
B.
It's
B.
B. So in B, you're given x and y, and then you're given -1, -4, -2, -8, -3, -12. So what do you have to do to figure this out? To see if this is correct?
4 times -1, 4 times -2, 4 times -3.
Right. What are you doing with those numbers? Multiplying the
Oh, no,
input times 4, right? So substituting the numbers in, just like yesterday. When x is -1, y is -4. When x is -2, y is -8, right? Any questions on this? Bailey? What are you doing?
What?
What are you doing?
I'm rubbing the notes.
No, you're eating candy.
Yeah, but
We're what?
we just got at a break and I forgot to eat it.
Don't eat it now during class. Okay? Alright. Number 2, or no, let's skip down to number 4. Now you're given a set of values. Oh wait, no, we just did that one in your notes. Let's do number 5.
Because odd numbers.
Okay. So they give us x and y. And they give you 1 and 0.5, 2 and 1.5, 3 and 2.5. What do you have to do first? We're going to write a function rule. F of
I have the function.
equals what?
It is x minus half.
Okay. How do you know?
But when you look at what x, then there's y is 1. It's half.
Right? So
And
we're
1
going to
minus
find
half is half.
find the difference between these two first, right? So if we did x minus y, you get 1 minus 1/2, and that equals 1/2, doesn't it? And 2 minus 1/2 equals 1.5. Or, I'm sorry, we go the other way, because we'll use the given numbers. So take x minus y. X minus 1.5 is 0.5. 3 minus 1.5 is 0.5. So we have discovered a pattern, right? Once you discover a pattern, now you can figure out what's happening. Oh, there's a 0.5 difference on all of them.
Whoa.
It's all the same difference, isn't it? So that means that we're taking away 0.5. F of x is equal to x minus half. Okay. If they have the same difference, then that's the amount that we're taking away each time. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So your assignment is going to be 1 through 9. Let's go with, let's do number 10 also. Because I want you to practice writing function rules for each situation. It says the total cost, T of C. Total cost, T. Total stands for T, or T stands for total. So this stands for total cost. Ready? Number 10. T of C of C ounces. So C is the number of ounces. Of cinnamon, if each ounce costs 79 cents. All right? And 1 C equals 0.79. Right? Christina? Let's make a chart. Christina,
We're still copying the notes that we can't
you
keep
can
up.
do that later.
No, they're taking it from my notebook.
But you don't need to do that right now, because it's more important for you to follow along with these examples so that you know what to do when you're doing the homework, okay? So follow along.
We don't know what to do if we don't copy the notes as well, because we don't know what you're talking about.
We
But
can copy
as
the
you're
notes
You
later.
can't listen to me later, Bailey. You can copy the notes later. Okay? You can't follow along with the example that I'm giving you later. You can copy the notes later off the board, but it's more important to follow along with these examples that I'm showing you so you know how to do the homework.
I'm following along.
Okay? So, Christina, how could you make a chart of of this situation.
Okay. So, but, like, X,
So if this is C and this is T of C, the total cost for one, what?
1, 2, and 3 on the C side of the teacher. 1, 2, and 3.
Okay, 1, 2, let's start with 0.
Okay.
0, because that's going to help us. 0, 1, 2, and 3.
Okay.
Okay?
So, the total cost times the number of owls is 0.
So if we buy 0, we're going to get, it's going to cost us 0, right?
Yes.
And 1 is going to cost us,
0.79.
and 2 is going to cost us,
Dollar,
$1.58.
okay, $1.58. So C, if this is the pattern, what are we doing to get this?
We are multiplying the number of ounces times the total. No, not yeah, my total cost.
Well,
No,
did you multiply 2 times 1.58?
no.
Or 3 times 1.58?
It's
No.
the cost times the number of ounces.
It's the cost of 1 ounce times the number of ounces, so 0.79. And that equals what?
Total cost.
Total cost equals equals this column. And so what you're doing here is writing a function rule. Writing this, coming up with this based on the pattern. Okay? So first you want to establish a pattern, then look at the pattern, and then be able to write it using these, this terminology, the variable and the function of the variable, and what we're doing to get the answer. Okay? And so I want you to practice a few of those also. Use 0, 1, and 2 to help you establish your pattern. And then you can figure out whether you're adding it or multiplying it to get the answer, okay? So 1 through 12.
Bruh.